UK Research and Innovation, also known as UKRI, has updated its open access policy, which has implications for all publications that acknowledge funding from UKRI or any of its councils. The following video summarises the UKRI open access policy and how researchers can comply with its open access requirements. UKRI is a government body which directs research and innovation funding in the UK. It comprises 7 disciplinary research councils: AHRC, BBSRC, ESRC, EPSRC, MRC, NERC, and STFC, Research England, and Innovate UK. The open access policy applies to research publications that acknowledge funding from UKRI or any of its councils, including Innovate UK and Research England. It applies to peer-reviewed research articles, including reviews and conference papers, in a journal, publishing platform, or conference proceeding with an ISSN, submitted for publication from the 1st of April 2022. It applies to monographs, book chapters, and edited collections published from the 1st of January 2024, unless they are already under contract with the publisher. A few points of clarification to mention here. Research articles are only in scope if there is an expectation that UKRI funding should be acknowledged, which is often not the case with Research England projects. The policy applies to review articles, such as systematic reviews and meta-analyses, but narrative review articles are specifically excluded from the policy, although open access is encouraged. The policy applies to research articles arising from training grants, but it does not apply to monographs, book chapters, and edited collections, where the training grant is the only UKRI funding source acknowledged. The thesis itself is not within the scope of the policy. What are the implications for the REF? Although the review of the current REF exercise has not yet taken place, UKRI have indicated that any outputs which satisfy the UKRI policy will also satisfy any future REF policy. Peer-reviewed research articles should be openly available immediately upon publication. An embargo period is not permitted. There are 2 main routes to compliance. The Gold route. The final published version is made open access via the publisher's website with a CC BY or other permitted license, either in a fully open access journal or a publishing platform, or in a journal that is part of a read and publish agreement, or in a JISC-approved transformative journal. The Green route. The author's accepted manuscript is made open access in an institutional or subject repository with a CC BY or other permitted license without embargo. This is likely to be facilitated using rights retention. More on this later. For either route, the open access version should be available under a CC BY license, although researchers can apply to UKRI for an exception to use the CC BY ND No Derivatives license. All biomedical research articles that acknowledge funding from MRC or BBSRC need to be deposited in Europe PubMed Central. If researchers choose the green route, they need to deposit the manuscript themselves, as the publisher is unlikely to do this for them. How to pay for gold open access. There are several options available to researchers. Payment of the APC via one of the university's block grants. This applies to research articles publishing in fully gold open access journals and JISC-approved transformative journals only. Payment of the APC via a transitional read and publish agreement. There's further information about the university's agreements with publishers on our website. Payment of the APC via a core grant. Some departments and institutes within the university receive core grants which cover open access publishing costs. What is rights retention and why is it helpful? Rights retention offers a route to compliance in cases where there are no funds available to pay for gold open access. We recommend that researchers retain their rights in all their submitted articles. This gives them the option to make their accepted manuscript openly available in a repository at the time of publication under a CC BY license. To do this, researchers need to include a rights retention statement in the acknowledgements or funding section of their submitted manuscript and in any cover letter accompanying their submission. This notifies the publisher of their intention to retain their rights in any accepted version arising from the submitted manuscript. The UKRI policy applies to monographs, book chapters, and edited collections published from the 1st of January 2024, unless they are already under contract with the publisher. There are two main routes to compliance. The Gold route. The final published version is made open access via the publisher's website with a CC BY or other permitted license within a maximum of 12 months of publication. The Green route. The author's accepted manuscript is made open access in an institutional or subject repository with a CC BY or other permitted license within a maximum of 12 months of publication. For either route, the open access version should be available under a Creative Commons license. The CC BY license is preferred, but other Creative Commons licenses are permitted. Further guidance, including exceptions to the policy and funding for open access costs, will be made available in due course. You can find out more information on our website, or you can contact the Open Access team for advice.